of the TMC family. I'm Faith Howard Mooney, SVP of Member Engagement at the Mortgage Collaborative. And today with us is John Hardesty, who is the GM of the Mortgage Division at Argyle. Thanks for doing this with me.
Faith, love chopping it up with you. So really excited. Thanks for having me on.
For sure. Share with us a little bit before we get going here about you personally. Share with us a little bit about Argyle and who Argyle is. Many people already know, but just in case.
Sure. So I want to say newly a part of TMC. It's been a few months now, but Argyle verification of income and employment. We serve about 95 mortgage lenders today, helping them lower their costs in terms of verification. It's a very hot topic in the industry. So the business has been around since 2018, and we're helping lenders cut costs, but become more efficient in loan manufacturing. And that's our tagline, and have a lot of great partners in the network today, and we're having a lot of fun doing it. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
Argyle.
It is. It is one of the hottest topics, I would say, with our lender membership right now. It's like cost cutting has been for a while, but specifically to the business that you do,
hmm
it is something that people are very conscious of right now, for sure. So let's learn a little bit more about you. I did a little bit of creeping around, and I found out that you were a Cleveland guy, which I didn't know before now.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Go Browns, go Indians, go Cavs, through and
yeah,
through.
you share that with a number of members of our team for sure. But give me what your first job ever was.
Oh gosh. First job ever. I was a pool hand out of high school. So
Okay.
I was like the guy that goes, early in the morning, gets the pool set up. But professionally, so that was my first experience into what is work.
Yep.
But professionally out of college, I was a student athlete in college and always thought I was going to be a intercollegiate athletics guy. So I actually worked at Kent State University, and I was in the athletic department. So my job was to make sure that the football players went to class, stayed eligible, and I worked with the coaches to make them do that. So got a firsthand
Wow.
experience in intercollegiate athletics. I actually did that for about 5 years, a variety of different positions. And it was a great experience. I learned a ton about how to work with people and be good to people and how to act. But I was 23 years old, just helping kids get their degrees and stay eligible to be on the field. So crazy
That
experience, for
that
sure.
is pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is a pretty cool first job. Although I always say the first one, so I'm going to say that the pool hand is your first one. Those are the
Yeah.
ones that teach you either what you want to do or maybe what you don't want
Oh
to
my
do for the
God.
rest of your life.
Oh my God. The best part about that, I look back at that, it was like I was like 15 and you had your friends. We all got our first jobs together, right? And it was, not a ton of responsibility, but hey, summers in Columbus, Ohio at the time, nothing better than to be by the
Yeah.
pool. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Still the same way, I would say, in Minnesota, where I'm at. The summers, you are by the pool or the lake, one or the other. How did you then get into mortgage,
yeah,
fintech? I mean, you're kind of in that fintech provider space in the mortgage industry. What kind of led you there?
yeah, like most, stumbled into it. There was I've been in startups for a while since that intercollegiate life, and
Okay.
there was an opportunity. There was a few Cleveland guys that were running a company at the time called Top of Mind Networks, created as a
Oh,
surefire CRM,
yeah. Yeah.
and they were looking to bolster some of their strategic thinkers in the business. And I was kind of grew up in the partnership channel and got to connect with a guy by Nick Belinkie, who's now at ICE. Gave me an opportunity to jump into mortgage and really build out the partner ecosystem for Surefire, or Top of Mind at the time, later acquired by Black Knight, and
Yeah.
kind of dove all in. I love working in the mortgage space, the people. I've always, I've bought two homes, so I was always curious. Like, man, this seems like really cool stuff. Now I look back later and it's like I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. It's the
Oh,
people, it's the kind of technology though. Like I'm on the technology side, so I'm always thinking about how to make the origination process better, and just
yeah.
stumbled in. And now I'm, what, I think 5, 6 years later, like still here, having fun. So
You're going to be one of those people. It's in your blood.
I
It
know
usually is. Even for the people that stumble in, they tend to move around, but stay around at the same time. So
it's it's crazy. And we're gonna talk TMC, like what drew me to TMC later, but it's crazy now when you go to these conferences or such, and you just see so many people that you've done either business with or you just got to know on the journey, and it's such a small, very niche profession, and I really do enjoy it. So it's fun.
it is. Is there one thing that when you think back to your early days that you just wish that you knew or somebody told you that you would tell people coming into the industry now?
Great question. I think it revolves around like doing business with good people, and I'll double click on that and what that really means. So much of the day to day on the vendor side, even on the origination side, right, is what do I need to do to close loans, or if it's sales, like bring on new clients. But at the end of the day, it's such a small industry that leading people first is so important. Be who you are. I'm a big believer in that in terms of like culture, like bringing people into organizations that fit the culture and you're putting them in the best position to succeed. So it's all about people for me, Faith, and like
Yeah.
making sure that we treat our clients or our partners right, and we're honest, transparent, and we do things the right way. And it just all starts with being a good person and working really hard to deliver on who you're trying to serve, right? And we serve the mortgage industry, so keeping that at the front. So
Yeah.
all about people.
You are speaking my language, sir. I always
I
say
mean,
it's
that's why
all
you
about
brought me on here, Faith. All right, no, I'm just
yeah,
kidding.
it's like if you do the right thing by people, I think that all the other things tend to fall into place. And it sounds like you have that very same belief.
And maybe I just add one more thing for anyone new coming into the industry. You don't need to know everything right away, right?
Oh,
Like
that's a good
if you surround yourself by good people, and I mentioned a few earlier on in my career that like took me under their wing and said, you fit the idea of what we're trying to solve or serve here, and listen and learn and be a sponge, because you do that. And over the years, as you know, you just pick up new things. And next thing
yeah,
you know, you're talking about different products and different ways you can, all that stuff.
yeah,
So be a sponge,
absolutely.
be a sponge.
Absolutely. If you weren't doing what you're doing today, what would we find you doing?
Another great question. Honestly, I'm an avid cruiser myself. So like
Right?
cruises, I grew up. My dad was a teacher, had the same schedule every year. So I've been on like 18 or 19 cruises.
Oh, wow.
So I haven't done as much now. My wife, unfortunately, is not a big fan of cruises, so that's maybe behind me. But if I wasn't here, I might try to be a captain on a cruise ship and just bring that experience in. Again, never going to happen, but I do enjoy the open waters, Faith, and
Yeah.
it was always something that I enjoyed doing growing up. And why not do it if you could pick it,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, absolutely. It's always good to dream too, I think. You just never
100.
know what's going to happen. So it's always good to dream. You're in Ohio, so you're a Midwestern person too. I'm in Minnesota. This is our summer. What is your favorite summer activity?
Ooh, favorite summer activity.
Yep.
Um, because we don't have a lot of great weather in Ohio, it really changes. I enjoy one being outside. I'm an avid runner, and majority of the year I'm on a treadmill in the basement.
Yep.
So I spend my summers, if I can, early in the morning with two kids. I'm out running around the neighborhood, but also pools, and then taking time away from this crazy life that we have in the mortgage industry, and trying to find some time to disconnect. And whether that's Florida for us Midwesterners or it's a trip, I'm very keen in on enjoying the weather, whatever we're doing. And this weekend it was teaching my son t-ball, right? It was being outside. So
Yep.
period, as you know, as Midwesterner, got to get out when we have it.
You do. You have to soak in as much of it as you can because you know it's short lived and doesn't happen for a long time. Last question. You're relatively new. Argyle is relatively new into the TMC family, but you've had exposure to us before. What's the thing that attracts you into the TMC family?
When I got to Argyle, one of the first calls I made was to TMC, because I was exposed in a really cool way when I was at Black Knight Financial Services to the Collab Lab a few years ago in Sonoma, California,
Oh, yeah.
and I remember thinking when I was at that event, because it was a very small event, I said, "Wow, the manner in which TMC really engages their members, but also supports their preferred partners to really try to be a helping hand into whatever they're doing." I was really impressed, and I had known formerly Tom for a long time, and
Yeah.
I
Gee.
just thought where we were going as this kind of newer player in the mortgage space, you want to align with the right people, with going back to people, but the right ideas and the way that we can align ourselves with best in class, collaboratives and such. And TMC's top of that list. So, it was easy for me. Took a while, but now we look at it and we're having fun. So definitely the right move.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We love to hear that. I think this whole interview, you've just spoken my language. I told you before we got on that this was going to be my favorite thing that I did today. I knew what I was talking about. That's absolutely right. This was delightful getting to know you a little bit better.
Yes,
Appreciate the fact that you would do this with me. We love it and lobbied for a long time to have Argyle in our network. So appreciate that as well. But thank you for doing this with me today. It has been a delightful spot in my day.
of course, Faith. Thank you for having me on. And again, thanks for all the stuff you guys do.